Hey gang, welcome to the very first episode of Doc's Dumpster, where in this series I'm going to be reviewing some movies that are considered by many people and critics as some of the worst of all time, and movies that I honestly think are some of the worst of all time. But this has a slight twist to it. Now, where some of the movies I will be reviewing on here are considered to be really extremely bad, if I agree, you'll hear some sort of sound effect or something like that pertaining to the movie. But if I thought that maybe the movie wasn't really all that bad, you won't hear anything. And of course, after the all the reviewing and everything I think about a movie, of course, after the either the sound effect or no sound effect, I will explain why does it belong in a dumpster or why doesn't it. So, of course, let's start off with something kind of big. The Twilight series. Oh, man. Okay, how many of these movies have been around? 8, 10, 12, 15, 30, I don't know. Pretty much story of a girl who seems to have Botox in her face, who cannot seem to have any kind of emotion, because if it does, it'll probably crack her face wide open, and her skull will fall out of her, and leaving behind probably a skull that would probably have more emotion on it than she does her regular face. It's a fight between a sparkly vampire and a werewolf who apparently doesn't seem like to have a shirt on, and it's a big werewolf vampire fight over this one particular girl for some God only knows reason. It's supposed to take place over, I guess, several years during high school years, which are supposed to be bad enough. And then it eventually goes into more territories and more weird stuff happens, more incredibly snooze fest stories are happening. Tons of books were put out for this movie series, actually before the movie even came out. And of course, when the first movie came out, it was huge at the box office. And though some of the movies have had their shares of good praise and bad praise, but ultimately overall, there are a lot of fans of this movie series. And I don't know if this movie series is ever going to stop, and it died. As far as I know, there's not been another Twilight movie in the past several years. Of course, I really haven't been paying a whole lot of attention as to when the next one's going to come out, or if there's going to be a next one. But now the big question is this: does the movie really deserve to be put into a dumpster? That should answer your question. Yes. Yes, it does. It needs to be put into a sparkly dumpster, in which the sparkly dumpster should be crushed completely and then set on fire. And the ashes, if they start to become sparkly, they need to be set on fire until eventually there's no more sparkly ashes. Then they need to be put into another dumpster where eventually it will be taken away to somewhere far away from all of us, in which, for the love of God, we will never ever know about these stupid, bad movies ever again. I mean, seriously. These movies, like I said, they made a ton of money at the box office. I have not been tortured enough to want to sit through one of these, and if you were to ever torture me to get me to basically get me to rat out my friends, just pop one of these into your DVD player, play it for about 30 seconds, and I will tell you everything about my friends, to put them into the police, whatever you want to do, or just anything like that. This is a completely bad series, and maybe it's the adult in me, I don't know. I just do not like this movie. To tell you the truth, I was never really much of a vampire fan. I admit there were a few vampire movies I did like as a kid. Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter is probably my all-time favorite vampire movie. I like Bram Stoker's Dracula, but my only big problem with that was Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. I didn't think they were a very good fit in the movie, but then again, I also hated Dracula Dead and Loving It, so there you guys go. But yes, the Twilight series, it's torture. It's incredibly brain-numbingly bad. And I just don't get how on earth this series of movies made so much money at the box office, But again, there have been several movies where people have criticized how bad they were. And in fact, there was one movie, one of them in the series, where a friend of mine actually said, who was it? The werewolf guy, Eduardo or Esperado or something like that. I don't care. Apparently looked at the baby of Jim Bob and Bella, and and supposedly somehow looked at the baby and had this vision that one day that kid was going to be his bride. And I thought to myself, and yet you people want to go watch this crap. But hey, made a lot of money, and well, you couldn't pay me enough to be walk on roll in this movie, because I would tell you where to stick it. So there you guys have it, a review of the Twilight series. They all sucked. Pun intended, no pun intended. All right, well, that's going to do it for this first episode of Doc's Dumpster. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this movie, and if you agree or disagree, totally cool with me. So, until the next episode, as always, stay strong and rock on. Sparkle, sparkle.